Tantra Illuminated with Dr. Christopher Wallace is a journey through the depths of the human experience, as viewed through the lens of the tradition called nondual Shiva Tantra. This multi-format podcast delves into the fascinating world of classical Tantra and its intersections with philosophy, neuroscience, psychology, human development, and the broader world of spirituality. Today's episode is a scriptural reading, and I'll be sharing with you my translation of the opening and closing verses of the Vijñāna-bhairava-tantra. 23 verses at the beginning and 23 verses at the end of the scripture enclose and frame the 112 practices, also known as yuktis or dharanas, taught by Bhairava. And these opening and closing verses are not mere filler. They offer us deep teachings and profound contemplations. And even more importantly, they provide the context within which the practices taught in the scripture are effective. In the Tantric tradition, the view is inseparable from the practice. The view empowers the practice and provides a context in which the practice clicks into place on a deep level. Here I will simply read my translation of these beautiful verses without any explanation. And if you would like an in-depth explanation of these verses, you can subscribe to the forthcoming VBT meditation app called Tantra 112. And there are deep dives within that app that together constitute a complete audiobook on the Vijñāna-bhairava-tantra. The app will be released publicly in September of 2025 with 60 guided meditations and with more added every month. And now I give you the opening and closing verses of the Vijñāna-bhairava-tantra in a newly revised translation. The goddess said, "O Lord, I have heard the entire teaching of the Trika that has arisen from our union in scriptures of ever greater essentiality. But even now my doubts have not yet dissolved, Parameshwara. What is the true nature of reality, O Lord? Does it consist of the powers that inhere in the mass of phonemes, or amongst the awesome forms of Bhairava, is it Navatman? Or is it the trinity of Shaktis that also constitute the three heads of Trishiro Bhairava? Or does it consist of the resonance and the point, Nada and Bindu? Or the half moon and the impeder? Or the vowelless mantra phoneme installed in the circle? Or is it simply Shakti herself? And another point, if the supreme goddess, Paradevi, is to be visualized with attributes, that is, anthropomorphically, like the goddesses Parapara and Apara, then her supremacy would be contradicted. Nor could she be supreme if she must be visualized as having this color as opposed to that, or this form as opposed to that. Supremacy is properly associated with formlessness, not with a specific form. O Lord and Husband, be gracious to me and make me clear. cut away my doubts completely." To which Bhairava replied, "Bravo, bravo, my dear one. You have asked about the very essence of the Tantras. I shall relate this most hidden of teachings to you, virtuous one. Know that the embodied forms of Bhairava I have taught in the scriptures are not the real essence, O goddess. They are like a magic trick, like dreams or illusions or castles in the sky, taught only to help focus the meditation of those who are debilitated by dualistic thought, their minds confused, entangled in the details of ritual action. In reality, the true nature of Bhairava is not Navatman, nor the mystic alphabet, nor the trinity of Shaktis, nor the three-headed one, Trishiro Bhairava, nor does it consist of the resonance and the point, nor the half-moon and the impeder, nor that which is combined with the sequence of the circle, nor simply Shakti herself. These were taught to help unawakened people make progress on the path, like a mother uses sweets and threats to influence her children's behavior. Know that in reality, the one pure universe-filling essence of Bhairava is that absolutely full state of being called Goddess Bhairavi. It is beyond reckoning in space or time, without direction or locality, impossible to represent, ultimately indescribable, a field free of mental constructs, blissful with the experience of that which is innermost. It is that essence which is ultimately real and fundamental. It is that which ought to be known and experienced. It is that which is inherently pure, and it is that which pervades everything. When this is the ultimate reality, who is to be worshipped and who gratified? This state of Bhairava, called Bhairavi, is taught as supreme. It is proclaimed to be Paradevi in her ultimate nature. There is never the slightest separation between Shakti and her host, Shiva. Thus, because there can be no separation between a quality and that in which it inheres, the power of the Supreme Being is itself supreme. The power of fire to burn cannot be considered as distinct from the fire itself. Shakti is only considered separately for teaching purposes in the beginning, when just entering into the beingness of insight. In our way, Shiva's Shakti is said to be the entryway into Shiva. The meditative contemplation of one who enters into the Shakti state becomes non-dual. When one's experience of being becomes undivided in this way, one is Shiva himself. Just as different directions of any given space are known through the light of a lamp or the rays of the sun, in the same way, Shiva is known through Shakti, O beloved. The blessed goddess said, "O God of gods, whose symbol is the trident, and whose ornaments are made from human skulls, this state of fullness of the divine, free of time, space, or locality, and impossible to represent conceptually, by what means is it attained? And how does the Supreme Goddess, Paradevi, become the gateway into that? Answer me this in such a way that I can completely understand it, O Bhairava. And Bhairava's response to this entreaty is the 112 practices of the scripture. Immediately after enumerating those practices, he continues, O Goddess, I have taught 112 concise teachings on how to become waveless. One who can understand them attains true wisdom. A practitioner who is fully connected to even one of these methods becomes Bhairava himself. He enters the state free from fear of old age and death. He is the beloved of the yoginis and presides over their melapas. Though still in the body, he is fully liberated even as he goes about his daily life. The goddess said, If, O Lord, this is the true form of para, how can there be mantra, or its repetition, in this teaching you have given? What would be visualized? Who worshipped and who gratified? And who is there to receive fire offerings? Whose is the worship, and how could it be done? Bhairava replied, In this teaching, O doe-eyed woman, external procedures are considered coarse and superficial. Here, japa is ever greater meditative absorption into the supreme state. And similarly, here, the mantra to be repeated is the spontaneous resonance of self-awareness, which is the soul of all mantras. As for meditative visualization, it is a mind that has become motionless, free of forms and supportless, not imagining a deity with a body, eyes, face, and so on. Puja is likewise not the offering of flowers and so on. A mind made firm, that through careful attention dissolves into the thought-free ultimate void of pure awareness. That is puja. When one is connected to even one of the practices given here, the aspect of Bhairava called nourished fullness will arise and develop day by day. It is absolute wholeness. It is contentment. Offering the elements, the senses, and their objects together with the mind into the fire that constitutes total dissolution into the great void, with individuated consciousness as the ladle, that is the real homa. Worship is here the gratification characterized by innate joy, O Queen of the Gods. O Parvati, the state of immersion in divine power is the highest meditation, the true holy place of pilgrimage, because it destroys negative karma and saves all beings. Otherwise, that is, without this immersion, what worship could there be of that reality, and whom would it gratify? The essence of one's real being is simple awareness of the joy of freedom. Thorough immersion into one's true nature as awareness, joy, and freedom is here proclaimed as the true purificatory bath. The transcendent yet immanent divinity who is worshipped and gratified with the various substances, those substances themselves, and the worshipper, all this is one, How, then, can we use the term worship? The prana moves forth, and the inhale enters, forming into a coil of energy by the power of the will. The prana extends and lengthens up the central channel. That is the great goddess, both transcendent and immanent, the ultimate place of pilgrimage. Attending on her and abiding within her in the rite consisting of supreme delight, one who is penetrated and permeated by that goddess attains supreme Bhairava. With the sound sa, she goes forth. With the sound ha, she enters in again. A living being always repeats this mantra, Homsa, Homsa. The natural japa of the goddess is enumerated as 21,600 times in each day and night. This practice is easily mastered by some, but difficult to attain for those who are dense. Thus, O goddess, I have related the ultimate supreme nectar of the Tantric teachings. It should never be given to someone who is a disciple of another tradition, or who is cruel or mean-spirited, or who is not devoted to his or her teachers. But it should be given without hesitation to those noble heroes and heroines whose minds are free of projections and dualistic views, and who are devoted to all their teachers. Relinquishing attachment to everything, this teaching is to be taken up, O doe-eyed woman. O goddess, what is the point of impermanent things? Only this supreme wealth is permanent. One should sooner give up one's own life than give up this supreme nectar. The blessed goddess said, O God of gods, O great Lord, I am completely satisfied. Now I have learned the essence of the system of practice arising from our union. And now I understand the very heart of all the various kinds of energy. Having spoken thus, delighted, the goddess flung her arms round Shiva's neck. Thus ends the Vijñāna-bhairava-tantra, composed approximately in the year 850 of our calendar, translated by Christopher Wallace, also known as Harish Saurabh, in the years 2018 to 2025. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Remember, you can always find out more about the tradition of nondual Shaiva Tantra at tantrailluminated.org, where, if you wish, you can become a subscriber to our online learning portal, and you'll receive access to a vast number of recordings, including a comprehensive curriculum in Tantric philosophy, Tantric yoga practices, guided meditations, and much more. Music for the podcast composed and recorded by Ann Leader. Find her at annleader.com. Podcast produced by Paula Chamas. New episodes drop every other week. And may all beings benefit.